Columbia, and welcome to a crash course in using Zoom as an application for your courses. So in order to get into a Zoom meeting, you first need to have access to that Zoom meeting, which will take place in the form of either a link or a meeting ID and passcode. So I have an example of a link here. If I were to click on any of these links, which all happen to be Zoom links that set up for Canvas and Zoom orientations that I'm hosting through the fall, I can click on these and you'll see that it automatically opens up the Zoom app and gives me, it puts me in a waiting room because the meeting is scheduled for later on. But this is the easiest way to get into a Zoom course is by clicking a link. It'll take you to the Zoom website. We'll ask you to install the Zoom application, which you can see behind here. It'll ask you to download the app if you don't have it. If you do, you can click Launch Meeting and it will open it as well. You can also open up Zoom Workplace, which looks just like this. If you have the app installed already, click on Zoom, click Join a Meeting, and then you will type in the meeting ID of the meeting here. Put your name here so that your instructor knows who you are, and then click Join. So once you've gotten into Zoom and you've made sure that your audio is working and you can hear people within, now it's time to use Zoom itself. So there's tons of options in Zoom. I'm going to go over the most basic things you need to be successful within Zoom. You'll see that I'm here. I exist inside of Zoom, and we're going to go through the entire program. It's worth noting that Zoom on your phone will be pretty similar in style in terms of how the buttons on the bottom of the screen look. Same order of all those things, but we don't recommend using your phone for Zoom meetings because using the chat feature, using Reacts, things like that can be a little bit more difficult to maintain on the phone. So with that, we're going to look at our audio and video settings first. So here on the bottom left-hand side, you'll have two buttons, an audio button and a video button. The audio button is your microphone settings, and your video is your webcam settings. So we can see the green bar here is moving up and down on our microphone. That's telling us that we are getting sound going to Zoom and others will be able to hear us. If we want to turn our microphone off, we'll just click that button, and now we're muted. In Zoom, you wouldn't be able to hear. You can, in fact, see a message up here that tells you that you're muted because it's recognizing that I'm talking. And if I'm talking and nobody can hear me, it wants to make sure that I'm aware of that. So we'll go ahead and turn our audio back on. And if we would like to get rid of our webcam, all we have to do is click the video button, and you'll see that my video has gone and it is back just with a click of a button. Sometimes you need to change some settings. Maybe you're connected to the wrong microphone. You would click these arrows right next to the video and audio buttons. If I click this arrow for audio, you'll see that it brings up this menu that allows me to select different microphones that I may be using in my computer, as well as speakers. So this can send where you're hearing others speak through. It's always great as well to use the test speaker and microphone to make sure that your settings are accurate. You can also click on audio settings, and this will bring up a menu that allows you to kind of see more in depth what's happening with your devices. And the video works the exact same way. You'll click the up arrow. You can choose between your cameras if you have multiple webcams. You can also blur your background or adjust your background, use a filter, all of those things, as well as change video settings. So that's audio and video, pretty much a brief overview of both. Those will come in handy if you're doing real quick troubleshooting problems with Zoom. Next, we have the Participants tab. We're just going to go from left to right. Participants will show you everybody who's inside of the Zoom meeting. So I'll pull this over really quick so you can see. You can see that it's just the test student and myself here. And so you can see who all is in here from this menu here. We'll close that and we'll bring this back over. Next, we have the chat feature, which will open up. On the right-hand side, a chat will pop up. I guess I gotta move this again. Maybe I will instead resize my computer here to fit that into the screen. Now this will actually show us chat messages from everybody. So if I send hello to the chat, you'll see that my message is now popped up in chat and everybody can see that. You can change who you send the message to. If you need to send a message directly to your instructor, if you click on this blue box here that says everyone, you'll be given options and you can choose your instructor, which will have the word host next to it. Choose this and say hello. And now I sent that message directly to the instructor or the host of the Zoom meeting, and other members won't see that message except for the host. So it's great if you need to let your instructor or your host of the Zoom meeting know that you are stepping away from your computer. Probably the best way for you to be able to do that is to use the individual message feature. Looking back at our Zoom, going to the right again, we have the chat. We're going to move on to React. If you click on React, this will bring up a window full of these effects that you can send. So I'll show some examples. These on the top have an effect that show on your screen. So if you guys are celebrating, it's the last day of your course, and you guys are excited, you can use the ta-da feature, and it'll send some confettis up your camera for a really cool effect. You can also do something like a laughing emoji to show that you really thought that what your classmate or your instructor said was very funny. These down here that don't have a box over are just normal reactions. So if you click on these, it'll just show up at the top corner of your picture. So that's worth noting, that you can send emojis to each other. A great way to applaud a classmate who just gave a presentation, or to give a thumbs up to your instructor if you understand what's happening there. You can also use these buttons here, check for yes or a check for no. These can tell your instructor whether you agree or disagree with something, if you can hear them, if you can't hear them. You also have a slow down and a speed up button, just in case you need to help with the pace of the course. You also have a be right back button that allows you to say, hey, I'll be right back. That actually mutes your microphone and it turns off your camera as well. That's a new feature. And as soon as you're ready to start the meeting up again, you just click on I'm back, and it will both unmute your audio and turn on your camera again. A great way to step away from your computer for a little bit. I believe if your audio is already muted and you use the be right back, this will turn it off, and if I say I'm back, you'll notice that my audio here stays muted, so it won't turn your audio on if you use that feature. So it's a great way to let your instructor know that you stepped away if you don't feel like sending a message in the chat. And then they've separated this reaction. It used to be inside of the reaction as well, but they've separated it now. You have a raise hand option. If you click this raise hand, you notice that my picture has now moved to the top of the screen so that the instructor can get their attention focused on the people with their hand raised. And this is just a great way. The instructor will also get a notification if the hand is raised. So it's a great way to say, hey, I have a thought, or I would like to contribute to this conversation. And you can just click the button again to lower your hand. And now for an aesthetic part of Zoom. If you click on the view button up here, it'll give you different options for how you would like to see the Zoom meeting. So for example, you can choose speaker only, which you'll see this put the host up in the top. And so now the host is front and center and everybody else is up on the top. You can choose gallery, which is what I had prior, so you can see everybody kind of on an equal level. The more people, the smaller the screens get, and you can see everybody in the Zoom meeting at once. And then you can get multi-speaker in case, I think it says it only activates for 5 or more participants. So this keeps the main, if you have multiple teachers or multiple hosts, they will stay at the top so that you can see everybody who is participating in the Zoom meeting. You can also hide the self view, so this will take you off of Zoom. If you don't like looking at your own camera, you can turn off self view and you'll see that it tells you that we're talking. So it just wants to make sure that you know that you are unmuted. So this is an option as well. As soon as you click show self view, you can see that as well. And you can also hide anybody who doesn't have a camera. So since the instructor account doesn't have a camera, it is turned off and now it's just me being shown, and you can make that show here again. And that about, well, I guess the very last thing is that when you're ready to leave a Zoom meeting, the button down here on the bottom right, the leave button, you can click leave meeting and this will leave the meeting and give you a little pop-up. It takes you back to the Zoom main page. And that's been a little crash course in Zoom. I hope you found this helpful. If you ever need any help, please feel free to email me at barsodid@yosemite.edu or give a call to the ITC. I'll put the phone number here at the bottom of the screen. And I hope you guys have a great fall semester, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.